Yo, what's up, guys? Fleur here, and this is going to be following week 4 for my college football analysis, my top 25 polls and my 5 players in the Heisman watch. Starting off with top 25, number 1 is Alabama, and they beat Florida Atlantic 40-7. They maintained this number 1 spot for a while. Oregon moving up from number 3 to number 2. They beat Arizona 49-0. Just a blowout against a team that people thought would put up a fight. And then moving down from number 2 to number 3 is LSU. Not taking anything away from them, but I mean, Auburn. They played Auburn and just barely won 12-10. So they moved down 1 spot because Oregon just too dominant. And number 4, Florida State. Still, they beat Clemson 49-37, which is a very good game. Just 2 top 10 teams going at it, and it was a really good game. Number 5, Georgia, still 4-0. They beat Vanderbilt 48-3. And then moving from number 6 all the way up to moving from number 9 up to 6 is South Carolina, and they beat Missouri 31-10. Missouri, not very exciting this year. A bit more was expected out of them in their first year in the SEC, but I mean, they're not doing too bad. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming, I'd say. Number 7 now is West Virginia, and they beat Maryland 31-21. That's kind of a struggle. They should have beat them by a lot more. And moving all the way from number 17 up to number 8 is Kansas State, and they beat Oklahoma 24-19. So that was kind of an upset. It was a good game, and Kansas State was able to pull out the win. And moving from number 10 to number 9 is Stanford. They are still 3-0 as they had a bye week. Moving from number 12 up to number 10 is USC, and they beat California 27-9. And moving from 13 up to 11 is Notre Dame after their 13-6 victory versus Michigan. And then number 12 is Florida, moving up from 14, and they beat Kentucky 38-0. Nice shutout victory for the Gators. And moving from 15 up to 13 is the Texas Longhorns, who are still 3-0 after having a bye week as well. And moving from number 7 all the way down to 14 is Clemson after their loss. 49-37 was the score to Florida State. I mean, just a really good game. Florida State was ranked higher than them, so they don't drop much. And number 15 now, moving up 1, is TCU. And they had a victory against Virginia. Score in that game was 27-7. Moving from 18 up to 16 is Louisville, who beat Florida International 28-21, so not too dominant, but they are able to move up 2 spots because some losses ahead of them. And moving from number 6 all the way down to 17 is Oklahoma. They are now 2-1 on the season after their 24-19 loss to Kansas State. And moving from 20 up to 18 is Mississippi State. They are now 4-0, having a pretty good season after their 30-10 victory versus South Alabama. And kind of a team that no one's really looking at is Northwestern, who I have a 19, moving up from 21. And they had a good victory against South Dakota, winning 38-7. And moving from number 11 down to 20 after a loss is Michigan. They are now 2-2 on the season. They lost 13-6 versus Notre Dame. And this team was not ranked, but now they are number 21, Oregon State, after their nice victory against UCLA 27-20, and they knocked UCLA out of the top 25. And number 22 still is Michigan State after their victory against Eastern Michigan. 23-7 was the score, so not dominant at all. That game should have been a lot, not close at all. And number 23 is Virginia Tech, and they had a 37-0 victory against Bowling Green. Nice shutout for the Hokies. And moving from 25 up to 24 is Baylor after a nice win against UL Monroe. 47-42 is the score. And UL Monroe has showed some spunk, knocking off Arkansas earlier in the season and putting up tests against Baylor and Auburn. So, nice victory for Baylor. And jumping into the top 25 at number 25 is Rutgers after their 35-26 victory versus Arkansas, who Arkansas now has 3 losses on the season, which is kind of surprising. But we're gonna move on now to the Heisman watch. And my top 5 now is Geno Smith, Anthony Thomas, E.J. Manuel, Aaron Murray, and then Colin Klein at number 5. So starting off with Geno Smith, the West Virginia quarterback. He had 338 yards passing on the day with 3 touchdowns, and he completed 70% of his passes. Number 2, Anthony Thomas. He kind of had an off game because they blew out Arizona, so he didn't really have to play too much. He had 12 rushes for 48 yards and only 2 catches for 11 yards. And number 3, E.J. Manuel, the quarterback from Florida State, picking up a nice victory against Clemson. He added 380 yards with 2 touchdowns, and he completed 77% of his passes, which was pretty amazing against a good Clemson team. And then number 4, Aaron Murray, the Georgia quarterback, was 18 of 24 on the day, only throwing 6 incompletions. He had 250 total yards and 2 touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns, and then he also had a rushing touchdown. And then rounding off at number 5 is Colin Klein, the Kansas State quarterback, who is a dual threat. He had 79 rushing yards for a touchdown, and he had 4.6 yards per carry. And as of passing, he had 149 yards and completed 62% of his passes. And some other players to watch out for in the Heisman in later weeks. Look out for Braxton Miller, Matt Barkley, Marquise Lee, Stephon Taylor, Tavon Austin, Denard Robinson, Jonathan Franklin, and Marcus Lattimore. Those people could make a bid for the Heisman if they keep up their good work. So that's it for this week, following week 4. So subscribe to stay tuned for more videos about real life sports, especially college football. So as always, I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. Peace.